I'm Ariana Jay. I help current and aspiring providers start, grow, and scale their licensed assisted living, group home, or community HAB businesses, okay? I have a home and community-based agency in Alaska. I have a couple group homes, services outside of my group homes. I have a 7-figure business here, and I'm making massive impact. And I want to help you do the same if that's what you choose or you desire or any of that, okay? So today we're talking about a line in the sand moment. And also about, when we get to that line in the sand moment, we are fed the fuck up. We are not going to take any more shit. And we're like, fuck this. And that's why my title was what it is. I am not about being like tactful or any of that with my whatever title it is. Like, if that's what it says, that's what I'm feeling. So that's what I feel right now. And there was a situation that happened a couple days ago that I want to tell you about. And it kind of fueled this. It kind of just added a little gasoline to it. I just want to talk to you guys about this because it is so critical. So the line in the sand moment, I have had so many, and I want to share that with you. And I've heard so many providers share with me their line in the sand moment. Okay, and let's talk about like what is a line in the sand moment. It could be a moment where your boundaries are being pushed. It could be a moment where life is not going your way in the terms of you are not creating the life that you want or desire, right? Because we know we don't have control over life in general. Like, we don't have control over that. But when we are going down a path or creating the life that we don't necessarily want, right? So there's that one. It could be that you have paid somebody to do a job. You've hired somebody to do a job, whether it could be an accountant, it could be a hairstylist, it could be a cleaner, it can be somebody on your payroll, normal payroll, and you've hired them to do a job. They're pushing boundaries. They're not respecting the expectations, and they're not following through. Those could be it. It could be with your spouse. It could be with your partner who they may not be respecting your parenting. They may be pushing limits and boundaries with you and like not even respecting you when it comes to the relationship that you want and desire and you both agreed upon, right? It could be a variety of things. It could be you getting your business started and then you not following through with that because family isn't respecting what you are trying to do and the impact you're trying to make. So it could be all of those things. It could be other things, right? Every one of us has our own version of what pushing boundaries are and that line in the sand moment is, because I can't say that every one of my experiences you've had, and there may be things that I didn't even mention that you're like, oh shit, yeah, that's a line in the sand moment for me. One of the SUP members, the members in the Starter Provider Program, she shared that she was reaching for a bonus. She was trying to get a bonus. She was doing all that she could to get this bonus and was checking off all the boxes. And then the company came back at the last minute out of nowhere and said no more bonuses. That could be a line in the sand moment. And for her, it was a line in the sand moment. That was her, fuck this shit. This business has to work. This type of care I need to provide has to work because I'm no longer working for that. I'm no longer being mistreated. I will no longer allow people to take me for granted. I am not going to do it anymore. That employer pushed their boundaries. They weren't respectful. It could be all kinds of things. So for her, that was her line in the sand moment. She came and she was like, no, fuck this shit. She didn't necessarily say that, but that's me. That's me. I have had several of these moments. So what happens when you have a moment like that? What happens when you declare that this thing isn't happening anymore? I'm through. I'm done. And I'm going to share some of mine with you. Some actual lines in the sand, fuck this shit moments that I've had and what has happened once I've declared and I've taken the action steps that I'm about to tell you right now. So this is an exercise that I want you guys to do. I encourage you guys to do. You don't have to do it. Some people don't like to do it because it kind of puts things in their face. And then they have to kind of like do some evaluation of like, okay, I am allowing these said things to happen to me. I'm allowing my life to be this way. I'm allowing X, Y, or Z. Okay. So these are the steps. There's only 3. So the first step is going to be, you have to declare what is going to stop, what is going to end, what is going to change. What is your line in the sand that you are no longer going to tolerate? You are no longer going to accept? You are going to no longer live with? What is it? It does not have to be about starting your business. Obviously, that's what I'm speaking of, but I'm also speaking of other things, right? What I listed. So the first step is declaring what has to stop. The second step is you want to declare what it is that you want. Do you want the business? Do you want the relationship? Do you want respect from the family for them not to push boundaries? What is it that you want? What do you want it to look like? And a lot of times, most of us are not prepared to say what we want because we don't know how to get there, or we just truly don't know what it is we want. We know we don't like what it is that's happening, but we don't necessarily know what we want. We know we want what's happening to be different. But the challenge here for you is to state what it is that you want. Okay, so that's number two. So we have number one, declare what it is that you don't want. Number two is going to be declare what it is that you do want. And number three is going to be create the action plan for you to get what it is that you want. Period. You cannot progress. You cannot change. You cannot do any of those things without the three things that I mentioned. Period. It's just what it is. Whether you're listening to this live, whether you're going about your life, those three things have to happen. You either get sick and tired and you're like, fuck this, I'm not doing it this way anymore. I want to create the life that I want. I want to change this relationship. I want to quit my job. I want to start my own company, or I'm no longer going to allow my employer to do this to me, or for people to treat me this way, or for my coworkers to do whatever they're doing. And I want it different, and this is how it's going to be, and these are the action steps that I'm going to take to get there. And to do that, you have to know what you want. You have to believe that you are worthy of having what you want. And if you don't, you'll be stuck in the same cycle of doing things and accepting things that you do not want. So I want to tell you about, for me, what happened to me. What are some line in the sand moments for me that I've had to go through? And then I want to tell you about something that happened just a couple days ago. So for me, some line in the sand moments and moments where I was like, fuck this, is when I was starting Alaska Premier and Douglas was on the slope. He was working 3 weeks on, 3 weeks off, and I was parenting full time. I was a treatment foster parent, and I was running this business, getting this business started. And I was like, fuck this shit. I cannot keep doing this. I need to make enough money to bring him home to help me with these kids, because I'm not doing it. And what did I do? I did just that. I did just that. Another moment is even before I started my business, before we started our agency, I was, as most of you know, I was a treatment foster parent. So I dealt with youth that had a lot of mental health issues or behavioral challenges or any of that. And I did that for 7 years. And so the end of my time with the agency, as I was starting Alaska Premier, because I was dually licensed at one point for children and adults, I had the moment with the leadership of that agency. I hated the way they treated me. I hated the way they talked to me. I hated the way that they didn't value my rapport that I had with the kids and towards their treatment plan. I couldn't stand that shit. And I had that line in the sand moment where I was like, fuck this. I'm starting my agency. I'm going out on my own. Fuck them. I will continue to make change. I will continue to make impact. And I'm doing it my way. I will be the boss. I will be the CEO. I'm not going to answer to them, because I did not feel value in everything that I was doing. That was a line in the sand moment. Another line in the sand moment for me was bringing clients into my homes and programs that were not my ideal clients. They were not the clients I wanted to serve. Their guardians were not the families that I wanted to serve, because they didn't appreciate what I did. They didn't see value in the care that I provided. Fuck that shit. I'm not dealing with it. I don't give a damn what you pay me. That's a line in the sand moment for me. And my business changed because of that. Y'all getting me? Y'all feeling me? I can even say the employees that I was hiring. My mindset of hiring then 5 years ago is different from my mindset hiring today. And so when you go through and you're getting these employees that don't give a damn about your clients and all of these things, you're like, fuck that shit. I'll go do it myself. I will not hire another person to come into my homes and programs and services and treat my clients like they just don't care. I won't do it. I won't do it. I will do it myself until I find people that understand the mission, who have my values, and are going to treat my clients the way I want them treated. Period. That was a line in the sand moment. I literally have walked into that house and fired somebody. I flew from Georgia. with my in-laws. We were down there, and an employee, this was back in 2020, an employee was saying some stuff about a client, and it was just a long story. But anyways, I flew my ass from Georgia to Alaska. I got the call, I bought the ticket, I flew my ass, and I fired him right there on the spot. I will not allow shitty employees to come into my agency and care for my clients. Period. Line in the sand moment for me. Family, right? Family. We all have family that don't respect our wishes or boundaries. They have something to say. They don't respect the hustle. Now, this can be a partner. This could be extended family. This can be anyone. But for me, I have family that didn't respect it. I had to let that shit go. I had to not necessarily cut them off, but the access, right? They can't have the access to me because of the energy. A line in the sand moment. Fuck this shit. I'm not dealing with it. Then we have these things, these decisions and choices that we have to make so that we can get to where we want to be. And all of those examples, I just pulled like just a handful out. I had to get to those choices. I had to declare what had to stop. I had to declare what I wanted and what I wanted it to look like. And then I had to create an action plan for me to get there. Right? That's what I had to do. Yes, fuck that shit. You are valuable, you are worthy, and it's time to stand up. I'm telling you, when you can make those 3 choices and you can be honest with yourself, things will change. So let's talk about the story the other day. I told you guys I was going to tell you this. Something happened the other day, and I'm not going to get into the full thing here, but the short version is I went into a home the other day, and it smelled like piss, and it smelled like dog. Now, I don't know if the piss was dog piss or human piss or urine or whatever the hell you want to say, or it was it was strong dog odor, strong. There was a dog in the house, and there was diapers, and there was open trash cans with diapers in it, and there were clients in the home. When I went there, I was eating a popsicle. Walking down the street eating a popsicle. I live on assisted living row. Okay, I have on my street, I think I have 6 or 8 different assisted living homes on my street. So I was walking. I can't tell you guys the full story of why I went over there, but I went over there and I was halfway through this popsicle, and when the door opened, the smell immediately hit me. I could no longer eat the rest of that popsicle. The house wasn't cluttered or visibly nasty. I could see the floors probably haven't been washed, but it wasn't that, there was this piles of junk or anything like that. Like, that's not what I want to say, but the house was nasty in the sense of the smell, and then the quality of care just wasn't there, right? And so there was a whole conversation that kind of happened, and there were some questions brought up, and there were some things I'm not going to get into all of that, but the point was that when I left that house, I was more fired up than ever before. Well, I don't want to say ever before. I guess it fueled it, that we have to bring good providers in, because the things that this provider was saying was insane. Fucking sane. We cannot allow clients to just be treated as such. And the way this person was talking to me, with me, and their clients were 5 feet away, I was like, and I went in the house, and I was like, you can't talk about your clientele like that in front of me, right there. I don't want to be associated with that. We could walk over here and you can talk about it. And the way that this person was referencing their clients, I was just like, what? It was just insane. But I think that for me, as I was walking back to my house, poured gasoline on the fire and the flame, because it's we have to bring up good providers. And there's a line in the sand moment that's to be had. There's a fuck this shit moment that has to be had for us to take the action that's going to propel us up. And each one of those line items that I just told you about, for me, has propelled me to a place and has helped me elevate to a place that has been better than before. But I had to get there by taking the action. I had to get there by deciding and then doing accordingly, right? It wasn't perfect, right? When I had to fly up here and do the stuff with the staff and let that team member go and all of those things, It wasn't perfect. Like, I'm not going to say I did it absolutely perfectly, but I will say my intentions were pure and I did learn from that, right? So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that, oh, you declare what has to change. Oh, you declare what it is you want. Oh, you make this action plan and it's going to be perfect. No, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. But what you need is a squad behind you. Rachel Rogers calls it $1 million squad. And if you are trying to get started, if you are trying to get your business started, your business in care, your licensed assisted living, group home, or community have business, then you need that squad. You need that community. You need that place to help you do that. So with that being said, the Startup Provider Program is open for enrollment. If you feel the nudge, if you feel the calling, if you want to declare what has to stop and you want to declare the life that you want, and that is to be an owner, to start your own business in care, then the action plan, either you do it on your own and you figure it out and you make those leaps and bounds, or you join a community where you're going to be supported in that journey. You're going to be supported not by just me, but by the junior coaches in the community, by the fellow members in the community, right? You have all of the tools that you need to be able to do it is you want. If you make the choice to do said thing. So you have your million dollar squad in the community with a private Facebook group that you can ask questions at any time. I'm in there. The junior coaches are in there. You have a dope ass mentor, me, and the training library to help guide you to where you need to go. You have 12 months access to that program, the training library, the private Facebook group, the weekly live calls. You have all of that. So if you want it, if you are declaring what has to start and the life that you want, you see that you own a home and community-based agency. You own a licensed home in any capacity, whether you're serving the elders, the youth, the age, any one of them. If you know that's in your future and you want help getting there and you want to declare that that's what's going to happen, I'm here to extend the invitation for you. You can go to www.startupprovider.com and you can join us inside of the program. Breaking cycles and generation curses. Absolutely. There are things that a lot of us are allowing to happen in our lives and we're not taking a stand to change those. And maybe it's not business for you, right? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else, and this can apply to you in whatever way you need it to apply. But what I'm here to tell you is I see, like, when people come into this group, they answer those questions, and a lot of them is, I've been trying to do this for years. Even in the group. Like, even some of the members in the group, they've been trying to do this for years. Some people have their businesses and they're stuck not getting clients. They're stuck their business isn't running the way that they want. They're stuck with all kinds of things, but they haven't declared what it is that they don't want and what has to stop. And they need to declare what they do want and then make an action plan accordingly. This isn't just with business. This could be life too. And a lot of people don't want to do it. Why? Because it's not the easiest path. But if you want change, if you want true change, if you want your life to look the way you want it to look, obviously within your control, then you have to do that. And what better way if you are wanting to start a business in care than to do it with a squad that gets you with a dope ass mentor, with a dope ass community, with a robust training library, and somebody that's going to help you along the way. You better find a way or fucking make one, because I don't want to hear nobody in the group talking about, oh, how do I get started here or how do I get started there? You should have joined the group. You should have joined the program if that's what you wanted help with. Anybody can post, right? Anybody can ask questions, but some of you guys are asking questions like an opportunity hasn't been presented to you. Like, it makes no sense to me. You don't have to pay. You don't have to pay to join the program. You don't have to invest in yourself to join the program, right? But then you also need to figure it out too, and you need to make that action plan. And no, the action plan is not asking, how do I get started in my state? The action plan is get on Google, look up your regulations, call your state department, all of those things. Don't be blowing up people's inboxes, asking them to help you because they're trying to help themselves, even though that we want to reach out. But you guys have Google just like everyone else. And these people, the members in the program, have paid for access. They have paid to collapse their timeline. And if you want to invest in yourself and you want to do the same thing, you are welcome to. Okay? I tend to kick people in the ass just a little bit. All right. That's it for today. I'll chat with you next time. Bye.